You're watching ManUtd VanCam.
This is VanCam, this is VanCam you waited for.
Oh, is that right, Steve? Were your mum so fat when she was sunbathing on the beach, a crowd gathered round her and prodded her with sticks because they thought she was a washed up beach whale? How we doing, everybody? I am Kev Ashford and you are very welcome to this week's edition of the ManUtd VanCam. Hope everybody is well. If you're a suffering Man United fan just like myself, then stay tuned because I'll be offloading and basically going through therapy and allowing myself to be, you know, just basically get it off my chest. Anyway, I was going to apologise for last week. There was an upload that went uploaded to YouTube, yeah? It was the Liverpool against Man United preview. I'd done loads of extensive research, man. I was looking up the Beatles, Brookside, Jimmy Corkill, Dustbins, Rats, the full shebang. I put it all together, put my heart and soul into it, and straight away, I must be on their radar, YouTube. Strike me off, demonetize, which I can live with, man. I only make about 10-15p per video, so that didn't get to me. It was the email after that said that YouTube had took it down because I was preaching some kind of hatred. I can only think that whoever reviewed that video was a dirty, rotten scouse bastard. So if you're watching again, come on, bring it on, man. Bring it on. But anyway, preaching hatred was somewhere along them lines, you know what I mean? I'm not a Osama bin Bastard Laden, Tommy Robinson or something like that, man. It's football. I wasn't inciting riots, anything. I was just talking about them Scouse bellends, yeah? So where do we start? Where do we start? Since we last spoke, Liverpool take 3 points off us, 2-0. And parts of that game, yes, we were in it. And the longer it stayed 1-0, we were in that game. The big chance, Tony Marshall goes for power instead of precision. I'll get onto him later on. And at the end of the match, yeah, you can be upset, you can be pissed off or whatever, but it's getting to the point now, after Burnley, we have been beaten 2-0 by Burnley, who haven't won for what? They haven't beaten United ever in the Premier League up until then. They've not beaten United at Old Trafford for 51 fucking years, man, or whatever. Sean Dyche turns up at Old Trafford and does a job on Manchester United at Old Trafford. And for me, again, I go back to emotions, man. Upset. I'm not even upset now. Angry. I'm concerned. I'm concerned about what is going on at the club that I love. And people will point the finger at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer like they did previously with Mourinho, previously with Louis van Gaal, previously with David Moyes. I said it in my last VanCam, you need to be looking above. You can make your own mind up. The book can stop with Solskjaer. A lot of fans, it's an easy target. It's the manager. The manager. Against Burnley, we had 3 chances. We could have been 3-0 up. We're not taking our chances. In the final third, there is absolutely no movement. If you're telling me, Martial thinks that he is a number 9. When Zlatan Ibrahimovic come into Man United, he took the number 9 shirt. He's a proper number 9. If Martial's got any aspirations to be a number 9, a target man, look at videos of Zlatan Ibrahimovic because he was the best, one of the best in the business at doing it. Martial, oh, moody, they took me 9 off me, I've got it back now. We'll play for the fucking shirt, man. I'm fed up of this shit of Martial coming out. One good game against some shit team. And then 4 or 5 games, he just goes absolutely missing. No movement. You look at the players that we had in the past, you know, even Andy Cole, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Solskjaer himself, it's all about movement. And if you're not going to get the ball, at least make a movement, pull a man away, let somebody else come driving through. That's what it's all about, moving. But Burnley after that, I mean, the scenes, it's sad as a United fan. We're talking 10 minutes left and the ground's half empty. When have we ever seen that? The past 2 times we played Burnley, we've been 2-0 down at Old Trafford, and we've come back to draw 2-2. You got the feeling that there is a toxicity, did I say that right, at Old Trafford at the minute. It has to be aimed at the owners. The transfer window, it closes another week or so. It'll be shut. What are United doing? What is Ed Woodward up to? Bruno Fernandes, at this moment in time of filming this, he hasn't signed. I don't even expect that he will sign before this video goes out. If United have identified him as the player that they want in that midfield to create things, go out and sign him. He should have been signed in the first week of the window. He could have had a week's training, could have played at Anfield, could have played against Burnley. And let's face it, he's a lot better than Pereira. Pereira is getting a free run in this side at the minute. He's like the lad that's won the lottery. He must be thinking, bloody hell, I'm untouchable. There is nobody else to put in, but Pereira gets in week in, week out. I don't get it. I honestly don't get what he brings to the table. And then I'm reading in the newspapers that the reason Man United can't agree a fee with Sporting for Bruno Fernandes is because Ed Woodward is tinkering, yeah? He's fucking about over about £3 to £5 million. What is that to Manchester United? Also, Ed Woodward has changed the bonuses of how the deal is structured and how he wants it to be paid. So he wants to pay less up front, and also these bonuses that he's added in. One of them is something like, we'll give you 5 million if Fernandes gets the Ballon d'Or. Another one is 5 million if Man United win the Champions League. At this rate, we won't even be in the Champions League. So I've got no sympathy for Ed Woodward. Why would you? Got sympathy for Sporting. No wonder they're laughing their cocks off, man. They're probably looking and going, yeah, so you're going to give us an extra 10 million in bonuses if Fernandes gets the Ballon d'Or and wins the Champions League? That ain't happening. The club is a mess from top to bottom. I still refuse to solely blame one single man in charge. I believe that, of course, Solskjaer loves Manchester United. He wants to do his best for that club. You're not telling me he's sending out these teams and telling them in the final third, you know, make sure you miss a chance, and that just does not happen. Of course it comes with confidence and stuff, but the anti-Glazer, anti-Woodward movement it started again. And the only thing I would say about this is I'm glad it's happening, but it has to happen week in, week out. Yes, we beat Wolves at Old Trafford in the FA Cup, and the United fans were very vocal. You know, it's easy to do it against Liverpool when we're getting beat, against the likes of Burnley at Old Trafford when we're getting beat. This needs to be very vocal now, because it is the only way that Man United or the fans can have their say and get rid of these shower of bastards. The Glazers' other interest is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In 2003, they won the NFL, right? So since that time, in 17 years, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have not really invested anything into the squad. They have got the lowest wage bill combined in that league. They haven't won anything, and the owners seem to be happy with that. Does it sound familiar? Because that is exactly what is going on and what will happen to Manchester United. They are happy at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they get a dividend share payout. The money's rolling in, and that's exactly what is happening at Manchester United. Ed Woodward's already stated that matters on the pitch don't reflect what's going on off it, because they're not arsed. As long as the money, the cash cow, keeps giving them milk, the money, they're going nowhere. Absolute nowhere. And it's up to every single United fan to drum that home and basically get these parasites out of Man United. I fully expect Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to stay at Manchester United. From the Glazers' point of view, it's absolutely great. He's clearing big wages off the wage bill. Most recently, the likes of Ashley Young, you think of Chris Smalling, Alexis Sanchez, Lukaku. And are we replacing him? We're bringing through youth. And the Glazers, it's a win-win situation for them. They're laughing their absolute cocks off at us. Us, the fans, the ones that are buying into Manchester United and going and watching that shit every single week. And this goes back to the days of Sir Alex Ferguson. Not one single manager that has managed under this regime has actually gone against it. And I don't expect that, because when you're in a job, the last thing you want to do is start slagging off the people that employ you. But wouldn't it be refreshing if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer resigned from Man United? Resigned, and his parting shot was that the Glazers are a shower of wankers. Ed Woodward is an absolute knobhead to work for. He never got backed, false promises, and we would all know, well, exactly what we know deep down, but at least we'd have it there in black and white and we'd hear it from the horse's mouth. Because even the great man Sir Alex Ferguson stuck up for the Glazers. Every manager has done it. Sir Alex Ferguson, the famous words, "There's no value in the market." That was his way of saying that, yes, he did want to sign that player, but his hands are tied and Man United were not prepared to pay a certain fee for that individual. And people will point the finger at Solskjaer. A lot of people will think the buck stops with him. He's the man who coaches the team, should be getting the best out of this team. We could have Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola. They are not going to get a tune out the shit that we have been left with. Some of these players are just simply not good enough. They can try, they can run around like dickheads, but they are not good enough. Everything is breaking down in the final third. It's all right coming out from the back and stuff, but we have no leaders in the team, and it's the one reason that I still refuse to put all the blame on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I've seen it since Sir Alex Ferguson left, David Moyes come in, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho. The decisions that have been made at the top have just been absolutely mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. It boggles the bastard mind. I just cannot understand how this club, it's just crumbling before our very eyes. That's exactly what's happening. You know, you think we were after Fabregas when Moyes was in charge. I thought, what a signing that would be. We end up with Fellaini on deadline day. Need to say more. Louis van Gaal. Did Louis van Gaal really want Angel Di Maria? Because it didn't seem like he wanted him. You know, he played him out of position, didn't really want to put him in the team. He was a player that he couldn't trust, and we all know that that snake-faced bastard never wanted to come to us. We were a stopgap until financial fair play sorted itself out, and off he went to PSG. Radamel Falcao was a massive gamble. That didn't pay off. Jose Mourinho, I've always stated, I believe he did not want Paul Pogba. I think Ed Woodward, his ego, he got the call off Raiola. He didn't care. Yeah, I'll pay you 20 million in agent fees. I can bring Paul Pogba to this football club. Oh, why, Ed? Why would you want to bring Paul Pogba back to Man United? The team, or under Sir Alex Ferguson, who let him go, that said, you know, he's bad for the dressing room. Why would you want him back? Oh, right, because he's got a shitload of followers on Instagram and that, social media wise, and he'll sell shirts because of the tie, the links with Adidas. Is that why? Because the way that Mourinho carried on with Pogba and clashed with him, I got the impression again that he did not want him. But apart from that, I'm alright, and I hope you lot are alright. And that was the intro to ManUtd VanCam, yeah? So let's pick up the spirits, literally. Fire it into you, mate. We're going to do CockStroker of the week. We're going to do the BIG VanCam Debate. We're going to have a look at what is becoming very interesting. It's the Fantasy Football League, the VanCam League, and I'll try to end with a few of your comments. So, right, that's all that shit out the way, yeah? That's therapy for me. I've got it off my chest. I hope you are all well if you're watching live. Then the finest of fair play here. Let's do a little thing that we all know as CockStroker of the week. This week I have compiled a top 5, and there can only be one winner as usual. CockStroker of the week. A very warm welcome to CockStroker of the week. This week I have compiled 5 nominations. It is now my duty and job to count down from 5 all the way to 1 and let you know who has taken home the award this week. Basically the award that nobody really wants. It's nothing to be proud of. Coming in at number 5, this was a video that come from Glasgow in Scotland. There's no iron breathe. Yeah, anyway, somebody filmed a woman basically pissing in the street, and Need I say more? The video should show up here. I have watched it a few times, and not for that reason, you dirty bastard. The reason that I watched it because I can't understand a word she's saying. She's offered tips on special brew, kestrel, probably petrol or diesel for all I know. But come on, man. Some people in the comments were even saying, well, at least she didn't piss on the pavement. She was doing it in the road. But I watched it back and I'm watching it. But what does she say?
You want that man?
Absolutely. Honestly, if anybody knows what she said, get in the comment section and let me know. But number 5 this week goes to a Glaswegian woman, middle-aged woman, pissing in the street. You filthy hound dog.
You want that man?
On you go.
Dirty bastard. Number 4 this week goes to Io Lai. I think that's how we pronounce the name, but he took to Twitter this week because he met somebody who he regards as really, really special. Now, I've not got a problem with anybody getting photos with footballers, celebrities, firing out on Twitter and saying, look who I just bumped into, look who I met. You know, that is the world that we live in. And if that's what you want to do, then you just go ahead and seize the moment, sunshine. But to my amazement, this fella, he basically visited Old Trafford for the first time, yeah? So we get the actual wording to the tweet, which was met at Realist187 at my first time at Old Trafford. Proper lad. And a picture of him and Saeed. Lad. Proper lad. Tell you something, I've got 2 lads and they're more of a lad than he will ever be. One of them's 9, one of them is 2 years old, nearly turning 3. Number 3. Now, we live in a world where we all criticise footballers. We say that they earn too much money. They're not in touch with reality. You know, the world that we actually live in. The hustle and bustle of 9 to 5, working 7 days a week and all that shit. Gone are the days where you could go into a pub, sit down with the likes of Brian Robson, Norman Whiteside, Paul McGrath, have a few pints of Guinness, have a great night. You know, camera phones have spoiled everything. Absolutely everything. So, number 3 this week goes to every single Liverpool fan who tweeted out and put on social media that Mo Salah basically paid a trip to a chip shop near Anfield. And it goes along the thing of Mo Salah, you know, what a guy, man. Mo Salah's just gone in the chippy. Yeah, and if he didn't, you'd criticise him and say that he's lost touch with reality. But the fact that he goes in, he's only going in for some chips and gravy or whatever, man. Big deal. Mo Salah goes in for chips and gravy. Maybe a bit of fish on the side. Who knows? Who gives a fuck? But here's the thing. We big up Mo Salah, or the Liverpool fans do, for going in and buying chips from a chippy. You criticise him if he ordered it off Just Eat or whatever and got it delivered to his penthouse and all that. But if my mate Fat Frank, if I walk past the chippy and I see him sat in there ordering his food, do you know what I mean? I'm banging on the window. Fat Frank! Get out of that chippy, man. You must have shares in there or something. You know, some shit joke like that. Yeah. So number 3 this week goes to every single Liverpool fan who thinks that Mo Salah buying chips from a chippy is like some outrageously great gesture of 2020. What would have been a great gesture? Buy everything in the shop and go round Merseyside feeding the homeless. You know, surely that would have been a better story. Mo Salah feeds the homeless, feeds the Scousers. Number 2 this week goes to Manchester City. A recent home game, Manchester City invited all their home supporters to join in a march to the stadium. So I make that about 20,000. It's a low blow, but forget that anyway. Now, I'm all for marching to the ground at Man United. You know, in recent times, I've had protests against the Glazers, strength in numbers in it. Let's march to the ground. Let's show them dickheads, you know, that we mean business. And I'm all for that. But Manchester City's was a bit more bizarre. Basically, they'd hired a brass band, singers, all waving flags and stuff, and they wanted you, City fans, no beds, to join the conga of love. Let's march to the Etihad. Let's make this place a fortress. Sadly, the only thing that it did was give people like me, you know, the ammunition to just shoot them straight down, because modern day football, man, I've got Man City mates, you know, yeah, we're better than you and all that and all, yeah, but you've just marched to the stadium with a brass band, you know, singing songs and that. Oh, I honestly, that club, City are a massive club, and that's why. And number one this week goes to the Liverpool supporters group who put this poster out. Now, this was prior to Liverpool v Manchester United, so here we go. It was a coach greeting. So Liverpool fans obviously hate Man United. There's no love lost. We absolutely despise them too. But it was this, you know, roughly 2 hours before the game, get there. You know, I've said this before, man, these coach greetings. Just stay in the pub with your mates, have a few pints, go in and watch the match, yeah? Starting from the King Harry pub, line the streets all the way down Anfield Road to the ground, right? Okay. Why? We are going for our first title in 30 years. Man United will want to stop us more than anyone else, so we need to set the tone for the day and let them know we mean business. Yeah, that'll help. We all know how much these bus welcomings help. Yeah, we do, because when you played Man City in the Champions League, you smashed their coach up, and that helped you. Bring pints, pyros and flags, and let's show our arch rivals what this means. You know, as if Man United, the Man United players, need to see this shithousery. Yeah, as if. And the thing is, I'm going to play the video in a minute. It was hostile. A very, very hostile environment. You know, we're talking 300,000 at least from what I can see with my mince pies. 300,000 people lined the street. They were all drinking beer, you know, rowdy. They were calling us all kinds of things. You know, is it any wonder that Man United lost this game 2-0? Psychologically, it was lost on Anfield Road, outside, when all these people turned up and just turned everything. You know, the animosity, the sheer anger in them. And our poor players had to sit on the coach and be put and subjected to that. It's just downright out of order.
Fuck off! Shit.
Hostility at its finest. I did say earlier, is it any wonder Manchester United went on to lose 2-0? You know, mentally, Liverpool won the battle out on Anfield Road. The likes of Fenerbahce and Galatasaray, watch your backs. The Liverpool Ultras are the real ones that you need to be watching out for.
CockStroker of the week.
Yes, so be very, very afraid of the Liverpool Ultras. That was CockStroker of the week. Next, we're going to do the big VanCam debate. I had a question last week. It was a horrible question to ask, but I did ask it. And you, in your hundreds, replied and voted and that. So thank you very much. So I'll give you the answer to that poll, or the result of that poll. And I'll be setting a new question for this week. So make sure you get involved. This, my friends, is the big VanCam debate.
For BIG VanCam Debate!
What about ye? Welcome to the big VanCam debate. We do this every single week. The whole point of it is that I set a question. You get involved in the poll by clicking the eye up there. You cast your vote. And then the following week, I tell you what the vote, you know, how you actually voted. The VanCam community, the best community in the whole of YouTube. And I won't have a bad word said about any one of you, yeah? I've got your back. I hope you've got mine, yeah? So last week, it was a proper filthy question. It was dirty, man. And I did say that if you answer it, then fair play to you. No sitting on the fence. A lot of people did sit on the fence, and I will let you off with this one. I did say that after you answered, you'll probably have to go and take a shower, probably cry yourself to sleep at night, but hopefully everyone's through that. It was a dirty, dirty question. And basically I was asking the question, what would you prefer, right? Liverpool to win the Premier League or Man City to win the treble? Obviously, Man City winning the treble means that Liverpool don't win the Premier League. There was loads of interaction on this one. You can go back through the comments of last week to see what people were saying. It was very, very close, but I can bring to you the result of that poll, and I can confirm that 58% of the vote, 58% of the vote said that they would prefer, if that's even the word that we can use, tolerate Liverpool to win the Premier League. So I think everybody was looking at that and thinking, do you know what? The treble's ours, man, and certainly don't want them bitter blue-nosed bastards winning the treble. We'll leave that. We can just about tolerate this season Liverpool winning the Premier League, because I think we all know it's done and dusted. You're probably thinking why I'm looking down. It's because I am very efficient here on VanCam. I've definitely upped the game in 2020, and it's because I'd written down that 58% went with Liverpool to win the Premier League. So there we go. Right, on to this week's question. Okay, so with all this outrage, the shit and everything that's going on at Man United at the minute, the toxicity, the Glazers, is it Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fault? I'm going to throw it out there this week, and I'm going to say, who is to blame for what is going on the pitch at this moment in time at Manchester United? Is it Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Because I think there will be people that say that the book stops with Solskjaer. He's the manager. He should be coaching the players, getting the best out of them and all that. And you are free to voice your opinion. Or do you blame the Glazers? Has this been a long time coming? Since they took over the club, we always knew that this day was going to come. I know we couldn't see it back then because under Sir Alex Ferguson, when he left us with that 20th league title. But the way the squad was at that time, it needed investment. Yeah, the legs were creaking in that squad that Sir Alex Ferguson left us with. And now we've chopped and changed managers. We've got players from different regimes. We've been left with a hell of a lot of shit. So who do you hold responsible for what is happening at Manchester United at this moment in time? Is it Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, or do you blame the Glazers? I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on this, especially if you think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is to blame for this. So make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below. I'll try and read some of them out later on. Next week, in next week's show.
The BIG VanCam Debate.
Swivel on that, Steve. There we go with the BIG VanCam Debate. Make sure you cast your vote and I'll let you know how that poll goes, and make sure you drop a comment in at the bottom. If you like the video, like it. If you don't, then do one, dickhead. Yeah, next we are going to have a look at the VanCam Fantasy Football League. Things are getting as hot as the sun. I think I said that last time I was on VanCam. But if you're new to it, then yeah, it still works anyway. It basically means it's hot. Let's have a look very, very briefly at how things are going. There is VanCam merch up for the winner. So obviously everybody is really interested to know how it's going.
And he painted matched up men and matched up cats and dogs.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick moment to have a look at the VanCam Fantasy Football League. This is really, really getting interesting. And for the reason that I have managed, I don't know how, but to overtake Rochdale starlet Louis Clarkson in the league table. He was rocking top spot before Christmas and that. Kev's had a really good Christmas, unlike Manchester United. I am in 5th place now on 1,341 points. The runaway leader is Simon Williams on 1,409. Nicky G has moved up into 2nd. It really is getting interesting. Let me just have a look at... there's my team, which I always show you every week just to give you an indication. I've made a little bit of an error this week. I played my triple captain because Liverpool have got 2 games. I put it in as Salah. I took De Bruyne out and put Mane in because I got 2 games. He's gone and got injured there. So I've got a bit of a headache of things that I just need to sort out, and I will do it because obviously I'm a model professional. Down at the bottom, it's always funny just to have a look at what's going on. Forsten Sontagens, I think I've just boxed the pronunciation of that name off. Looks like it's Norwegian or something, but yeah, sorry mate, I've probably got it totally wrong, tits up there, but he has fallen into 61st place. Ollie's at the wheel, maybe that's why. I'm gonna have to get this phone, but yeah, we'll update that again next week. Who the fuck is this now?
He painted kids on the corner of the street that were sparking clubs.
A brief look at the Man United VanCam Fantasy League table, done and dusted, which leaves me to look at a few of your comments. But first of all, I think it's only downright right. What is wrong with me, man? I think it's only right and fair that I read out last week's super chats, and that needs some Irish music. Of course it does. Who else would ever, you know, read out super chats without a bit of an Irish jig? Kick that beat! First thing was Gunshi 300 NT dollars and said Happy New Year, Kev. Happy New Year to you, Sunshine. Alex Rudd, our very own ManUtd VanCam moderator, in the comment section was there. $2 in. He said my wallet is on fire. Your bank manager's terrified. Terrible. GTA Red Star Gaming 199 into the pot. Thank you very much. And VanCam regular Robert Ingram was in there with $9.99. Said sucks we lost to Man City. This was going back a few weeks ago. Start the new year with a Bud Light, Kev. I will, man, where I'm from, in my neck of the woods. I can go to a little shop that begins with A. I won't give it out. Called Aldi. Yeah, and you get a Rookabeer for $9.99. So yeah, that will be me set up for the weekend. So nice one for the super chats. A massive thanks to everyone who contributed via the super chat button. Thank you very much. And I will read a few other randomly selected ones from the comment section. So make sure you get a comment in if you get it read out next week. It's pretty much up there with anything else. With winning the treble in '99, you put it a lot, you know, a bit higher than that actually. David Conreen, an absolute beautiful specimen of a man, absolute top red. The biggest nightmare for myself is Liverpool, VAR, you get it, VAR, being gifted the treble by the help of VAR. Regards, Raver. He's the crackers, that lad. Lee Calvert, good mate of mine, said better get a bodyguard, Kev lad. This was actually going back to early January. This was, I know there's all these attacks on fan channels and fans don't like and being outside the ground and that, but you know, if you want to go up there and spew a bit of horse shit to them, you know, they will listen to you, and all you're doing is giving your opinion to someone. Yes, it gets played out to like millions of people or whatever across a wide variety of social media platforms, but you know what you're letting yourself in for. And I think he's getting at the fact that I think two lads at the Arsenal match tried sort of getting at Saeed. He's very quiet, Saeed, for somebody who's so vocal. I would have expected him to at least stick up for himself and say, you know, this is my opinion, man, and you know, what's it got to do with you two? But no, he just he froze in the moment. He choked, as Eminem once said, or did, in the film 8 Mile, remember that? Martin Jefferson was in there, said Happy New Year, Kev, love the vids. I love you for stopping by and watching a bit of the old VanCam. David Birtwistle, old Bertie, another VanCam legend. Truly woeful second half last night, as bad as I've seen us this season, but despite all that, stick with Ollie, sack the board. Something that just echoing exactly what I said earlier. With me and Bertie are just singing from the same hymn sheet, aren't we? Yeah, in tandem we are, us two. Ash Bryant said, you're a match going fan, Kev. Yes. What do you think about protests in and outside the ground about the way the club is being run by the Glazers and Woodward? I'm all for it, mate, as long as it can be sort of, is there any such thing as a peaceful protest? Actually, I've touched back on what I said earlier. As long as these protests are kept up now, I like that. I like it a lot. But we have to be doing this even when we're winning, because I don't want it to go into this. You look at West Ham. West Ham are in a bad place at the minute. You know, they could be relegated. But when times were good, there's nothing mentioned about the stadium or the board. But the minute things are going shit and they're on the way down, you know, they bring up the stadium. The stadium shit, mate. We should have never moved there. We should have stayed at Upton Park. And it all rears its head. You know, stick to your beliefs and your thoughts on what you think, and keep on at it. Otherwise you'll get nowhere. Don't just bring it up when times are bad. And that's what I would say, Ash. Disco Stew Madrid said, I liked this video before I even started watching it. Absolutely love this channel. Thank you very much. Jade Adams, right. He wants me to put something straight. He says he's putting it out there. Hashtag in front of it. I've been mentioned on ManUtd VanCam. Mission now is to be mentioned as a VanCam regular. JCBA. No one uses Jade Adams, Sunshine. Anyway, have a look. Mate, you might get a rise out. You kids bastard! Jade Adams, who do you think you are, man? Do you know what? You are a VanCam regular. So, that was a message from VanCam regular, absolute legend, JCB. Hey, I call you JCB. was a song, that wasn't it? Yeah, JCBA. Thank you very much, mate. Jammy Dodger said, Kev, unban me, please. I did see that in the live comments section last week. I think he was putting time out. I didn't see the message or what it was, but what I will say, Alex Rudd is the moderator in there. So if there's anything homophobic, racist, I'm not for 1 minute stating that that's something that you actually said, but he's in there. He's my eyes, ears on the ground and all that, you know what I mean? Gung Shi said, good to see you back, Kev. Love the VanCam. My favourite channel, along with Mr. Flying Pig, who's an absolute diamond as well. Hope you had a great Christmas and New Year. I did. And with that, we come to the end. But I want to update you on something. Sadly, a bit before Christmas, we got the news about Pete, who sadly passed away. He was a VanCam regular. He'll always be an absolute... I'm lost for words again. It always gets me, these things. Although I never actually met Pete, he used to exchange messages with me on the Facebook page on a regular basis. So you build up this bond. You know by exchanging messages with someone whether you could have a pint with him and think, do you know what, he's sounding. And then there's other people who you think, bit of a dickhead, couldn't be dealing with him. But Pete was far from being that. I mean, Pete was an absolute star and sadly passed away last year. Now, Ploy got in touch again and said, hi Kev, hope you are well. I'm at the Red Cafe with the family having a meal and a drink for Pete. There was the story was basically they're bringing his ashes back to Old Trafford where they were going to scatter them, which is the place that Pete wanted to rest in peace, Pete. A couple of pictures there, absolutely lovely. There's Ploy with the ashes, and yes, and it's just great to see that he's actually been laid to rest at the place, the Theatre of Dreams, and that's absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, Ploy, for getting in touch and letting me know. I'm sure there'll be a lot of the VanCam regulars who will leave comments in there, which, again, I don't know. I just don't know what you're going through. I can't say because I've never experienced it, but yes, it must be bad. But listen, United are playing this weekend. We've now got Tranmere because Tranmere beat Watford, so it's in the FA Cup on Sunday. I'm sure Pete will be up there with Georgie Best looking down, watching Man United, cheering on the boys, because that's what we do. Man United never leaves us. It's in the heart, man. It's in the heart. So for the Reds on Sunday. Come on, United! I said your love, keep on lifting me higher and higher. Thanks very much for watching the video. You can also follow me on these other social media platforms. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, plenty of fish. Oh yeah! Thanks to everybody who gets involved, comments, likes, shares, subscribes. Subscribing is the main thing. It costs you nothing, and why wouldn't you want to do it? This is Man United VanCam.